It says Skrillex, Diplo, and Bieber, and I see one of those three in front of me.
I'm right here.
That is Diplo.
Hey.
My friends, it is Diplo, who is also, you're so many people. I don't know. You're Diplo right now.
Right now I am, yeah.
And then what will you be later?
If I take the glasses off, I become Major Lazer.
Great. Right.
And then Jack U. If I go
Hey,
hang out with
don't talk
Skrillex.
like that to me. I'm just,
Yeah.
I invited you in. And then Jack U, what do you do for Jack U?
Me and Skrillex, we come together and form like a Voltron kind of robot creature and produce pop songs.
What's the premise? Why change the character and the names?
Well, I think as Diplo, I've always been a guy in the background. I've been a producer for years and years,
Yeah.
a lot R&B and pop and hip hop and stuff like that. Major Lazer was sort of this project that we started creating, came from like the underground. And we just built a kind of like it became from out of the background of the studio as a producer to like an artist.
Right.
So I did that transition, and then Jack U was just sort of a project with Skrillex that I just was helping him work on some music for his project, and we just started having this kind of chemistry and a different idea for music that he wasn't doing, that I wasn't doing. That was something that was new. And like you could hear with the Bieber record, it was sort of like us taking this kind of corner of pop music that wasn't being used and doing something different.
Well, I want to ask you about that Bieber record because that was the first one we played off of the new album. And, I mean, that was a totally different Justin Bieber. So is that your influence on him? Because he wasn't that sound before.
Yeah, at the time, I've worked with Bieber for years. I've known him. I met him through Usher. I did Climax for Usher a couple of years back. And Bieber was around in that time. And I don't know what the deal with Usher and Bieber was, but they have some kind of thing from back in the day. And then Scooter is a guy I've known for a long time, Bieber's manager, and I just said to him, we did some work together on the last album. I worked on the album before this. I forget what it was called. But yeah, Believe. I worked on that album, a couple songs.
The album I did. What was it called again?
I don't remember what it was.
What was that girl that was married to? What was her name?
We actually did a bunch of stuff at the time. I think Justin was growing up and like learning a lot of different new things about music and things. He was experiencing things. And we did like 5, 6 songs, but we only had one on the album. And I just kept in touch with these guys. I loved his attitude. He's always been really cool to me. And things happened with him. He had a really transitional period for like 4 or 5 years.
But that came out like legit cred. You know what I mean? Like that was a real sound.
Well, I think at the time when we did the song, I was like, this Scooter, we want to do something crazy, me and Skrillex. So we got the record from them. It was sort of half written, and I felt like it was such a crazy idea.
Right.
Diplo, Skrillex, Justin Bieber. It was so outrageous that it had to either scare people or it had to be a success, or it just had to be. With Justin, he needed to take a 180, 100%.
Totally.
So I think that's what we did, and it actually worked in our favor. A lot of people would have been. When we first put the record out, I think that there was a lot of, comments like, "Why did you do this with him? Why did you? What does this sound?" Like, people just didn't understand it at all.
Right.
But I think 6 months later, it became really popular. But it took a long, long time for people to kind of adjust to what that record sounded like.
Sistine, do you notice something about Diplo that?
What?
Well, just stare at him.
What am I noticing?
I want you to look at his physique.
What? Oh, that he's just like super in
I got
shape.
a jacket on.
So there's this guy in the gym the other day, and he's working hard. He's got a hat on, everything. He says, "Hey, what's up, man? How are you?" I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" He's like, "Good." He goes, I just talked to you. I'm like, "Where?" He said, "I just called your radio show about the Cuba thing I did." I'm like, "You're Diplo?"
Yeah.
But he did not look like, people in the gym, you don't know.
Yeah.
And that gym's full of people.
Yeah.
That I don't recognize.
It's a small gym, but I just saw him there running. I was like, I got to talk to Ryan real quick. And then he was running. He was going fast.
What was he doing? Did he have an incline?
He was, I think you were mixing the incline and down. I don't know. You were running.
Okay.
Bro, I'm training for real.
Yeah. No, actually, when I talked to him, he was stretching. He was using the little machine, the bend over thing.
Oh, yeah. I like the bend over machine.
He's in a jazzercise class.
I was like, I don't want to bother him. He's deep in the stretch.
Deep in the backward stretch.
But I had to.